Hey guys, Real Comic Stacks here. There was one thing that really bothered me about the Venom movie. It wasn't the CGI. It wasn't the plot. It wasn't anything. It wasn't the clunky end credit scene that we've all heard about. And if you haven't, I'm not going to discuss it. I'll just say the end credit scene was kind of forced feeling. But what did bother me is one conversation that happened during the movie. So very minor spoilers. If you don't want to hear them, by all means, go watch one of my other my other videos. But I'll dive right into this. So hit the music. All right, and so what I'm talking about here is the one thing I really didn't like about Venom, and the scene that got me was it's when Carlton Drake, he's in the lab and they're about to begin the human testing, and the human test subject's name is Isaac. Well, he decides to go all theologian and tell us the story of Abraham and Isaac from Genesis, and he has perverted it to where it's not Abraham's sacrifice of his only son. Instead, it's Isaac's sacrifice. And it bothers me that is the comment that bothered me. Now I'm going to read part of it. This is in Genesis 22. Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham, here I am," he replied. Then God said, "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." So they go, and he goes. He leaves with an escort, him, his son, couple guys with him, a couple servants, and they go. They find the mountain. They go up there. Isaac and Abraham go forward to do the sacrifice. And they get the wood together. And then there's a moment where Isaac actually looks up at Abraham and says, "We have the wood and we have everything we need, but we don't have the lamb for the sacrifice." And Abraham looks at him and basically and says, "The Lord will provide." And what happens going forward is Abraham goes forward to do it, and as he goes forward, the moment before, the angel stays his hand, says, do not touch the boy, and basically God had tested him to ensure that he did not love his son Isaac more than he did God. So what this movie does, though, is it takes it and manipulates it and perverts it to where it was Isaac's sacrifice. Isaac is a unknowing, unwilling participant in this event. He doesn't know what's going on. He is he's along for the ride, and then Abraham begins to do what he's been directed to do by God. As horrible as it sounds, but it doesn't happen. He pulls him up afterwards, and they actually find a ram and sacrifice the ram as the burnt offering to the Lord. So, furthermore, on this point is only thing I can do is, first of all, let me say it's the villain that is given the speech. He's obviously a psychopath. So I have that going. He has that going for him. That it is he's a psycho, and it's not, when you think about it, it makes you just, it took me out of the movie. It was unnecessary. But I want to go back to the point about the sacrifice. How is that not Abraham's sacrifice? This is his son who he loves. He had to sit there and have his son look up to him and say, "Hey, we don't have a sacrifice here," with him knowing that Isaac was to be the sacrifice. But let me get to the point. What parent wouldn't rather that they be sick than their child? What parent wouldn't gladly, given the choice, throw themselves and put their life in harm's way rather than their child's? What parent wouldn't gladly give their life for their child if they had to? just imagine having to live after losing a child. I mean, that's one of the most heartbreaking things I can imagine. And I know it happens, and my heart goes out to all those parents who have lost children. It truly does. And for that reason, I hated this scene. Hated it. I don't know why Sony had to put it in there. I think they should have exercised some common sense here, and said, we can talk about anything else under the sun, in this superhero movie with symbiotes from outer space. Maybe we should leave the Bible out of this, because, especially in this manner, because I didn't like it, and I hope there's other people out there that didn't like it. I hope I'm not the only one. Now, like I said, I do acknowledge that it was the psychopath that was bringing this up, but regardless, it was unnecessary, in my opinion. But hey, that's Real Comic Stacks' thoughts on it, and I'm speaking third person now because actually I should say, this is what we think about it. We are Real Comic Stacks. All right, about this, I just thought it was pretty funny. I did it as a joke, and well, I'm just going to keep it going for a little while. Guys, if you haven't, click subscribe. I appreciate you watching the video. Tell me what you think in the comments, and by all means, share this video with a friend. I appreciate it. Real Comic Stacks out.